Prime Minister Modi met with Bangladesh Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus on the sidelines of the 6th BIMSTEC Summit in Thailand in Bangkok. The bilateral meeting comes after Dhaka has requested a bilateral meeting on the sidelines summit to sort out differences, but Modi's schedule in Thailand did not mention the requested meeting. The two nations have now seen tensions in the ties due to differences over the alleged instances of violence targeting the Hindu minorities in Bangladesh and India's decision to grant asylum to Sheikh Hasina, but also a very strong message from the MEA on how Prime Minister Modi has spoken to Yunus and stated that the attacks on Hindus should be not present in Bangladesh.
Prime Minister also met today with Professor Muhammad Yunus, the Chief Advisor of the Interim Government of Bangladesh. Prime Minister reiterated India's support for a democratic, stable, peaceful, progressive and inclusive Bangladesh. He underlined that India believed in a people-centric approach to the relationship and highlighted the cooperation between the two countries over a long period of time that has delivered tangible benefits to people in both countries. And in this spirit, he once again underlined to Professor Yunus India's desire to forge a positive and constructive relationship with Bangladesh based on a spirit of pragmatism. Prime Minister also urged in this regard that any rhetoric that vitiates the environment is best avoided. On the border, strict enforcement of the law and the prevention of illegal border crossings, especially at night, is necessary for maintaining border security and stability. There are a number of bilateral mechanisms between the two countries, and these mechanisms could meet as appropriate to review and take forward our ties. Prime Minister also underlined India's concerns related to the safety and security of minorities in Bangladesh, including Hindus, and expressed his expectation that the government of Bangladesh would ensure their security, including by thoroughly investigating all cases of atrocities committed against them. The Prime Minister also congratulated Bangladesh on assuming the chair of BIMSTEC and looked forward to the forum further advancing regional cooperation under the leadership of Bangladesh. The leaders also exchanged views on other issues and agreed to enhance consultations and cooperation to advance regional integration, including under the BIMSTEC framework.
Krutar joins us now. Krutar, relations between Delhi and Dhaka taken a frosty turn since Sheikh Hasina-led Awami League government was overthrown after a nationwide movement. I think extremely crucial meeting that has taken place here. Give us the key points that Prime Minister Modi has highlighted at this meeting that has taken place, where the Prime Minister has, of course, warned the Bangladesh leader about India's concerns on the safety of minority. But I think it's extremely critical, Krutar, as this meeting comes a week after Northeast comments by Yunus have drawn sharp responses from Indian leaders.
Indeed, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi in this bilateral meeting has given a very stern message. He has asked Yunus to take accountability for the actions that are happening against Bangladeshi Hindus and to protect the minorities. Now, this is not the first time that Prime Minister Modi has said this. We have seen in various correspondence between the Indian and the Bangladeshi side that the Indian side has raised this issue over the last few months. We have also seen Prime Minister Narendra Modi raise this issue from the ramparts of the Red Fort last year when he was speaking on Independence Day. So clearly, India is once again reiterating the entire fact that there are concerns about Hindu minorities being treated. We are also being told that reports suggest that the Bangladeshi side also raised up the issue of Hasina's extradition in this bilateral meeting. Again, this bilateral meeting was something that was not planned. It happened spontaneously after yesterday the Ministry of External Affairs said that they will talk to the Foreign Ministry of Bangladesh and then take a call on whether the two leaders will actually meet. Yesterday evening, we also saw visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Muhammad Yunus sharing a table at the dinner at the BIMSTEC Summit. So following which, perhaps on the sidelines of the meeting, there was a decision taken that a bilateral meeting will take place today, and both sides have spoken. Apart from this, there is also information that they have spoken on the Ganga Treaty, the border issues in terms of the fencing that is going up between India and Bangladesh border. Along with that, the Teesta Water Treaty was something also that was brought up. But in regard to the Northeast situation, Minister Jaishankar also very clearly spoke in the ministers' conference at BIMSTEC yesterday that the strategic infrastructure in Northeast is something that is not ready to be cherry-picked, and BIMSTEC countries, namely Bangladesh in this context, should be very careful in their words of consideration when they're talking about the region. So these are the developments that we're picking up from the bilateral meeting in Thailand.
And also breaking news coming in after Prime Minister Modi met Muhammad Yunus. He took to his X handle and said that he reiterated India's support for peace, stability, inclusivity in Bangladesh. He also spoke about illegal border crossings in that X handle message. This becomes extremely crucial, Krithar, because what we're trying to pinpoint, as the Prime Minister in his tweet has done, is we are trying to support peace and stability. But this is a very clear warning about from a very determined Prime Minister who has not taken anything from anyone, very firm resolve. So Muhammad Yunus is trying to speak about the Northeast will definitely have some repercussions, but it's also very clear that as of now, the warning is enough. We're looking at peace and stability and, of course, inclusivity when it comes to Bangladesh.
The words of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's statement after this surprise bilateral meeting that has happened on the sidelines of the 6th BIMSTEC Summit in Bangkok are very important. Prime Minister Modi has said that I reiterated India's support for peace, stability, inclusivity and democracy in Bangladesh. Clearly, once again, setting it out there that democracy is essential to this bilateral relationship. We know that Muhammad Yunus came after the military coup last year that happened, following which there were a lot of so-called reforms promised in Bangladesh, none of which have been seen large scale in the last 10 months that we have seen in the fallout of the military coup that took place in Bangladesh. Now, Prime Minister Modi also in his statement reiterating India's support for democracy in Bangladesh has to be a very important statement that has to be looked at, especially when it comes just after the first ever bilateral meeting with the chief advisor to the interim government of Bangladesh, Mr. Muhammad Yunus. Back to the studio.
Also, viewers, after meeting Muhammad Yunus, the Prime Minister also met Nepal Prime Minister KP Oli on the sidelines of the BIMSTEC Summit. This also becomes crucial as Prime Minister Modi met Nepal's PM Oli on the sidelines in Bangkok. I am also joined once again by Krithar. Krithar, the two leaders held productive talks that were faced and focusing on strengthening the multifaceted bilateral relationship between India and Nepal. In fact, in a tweet after the meeting, Prime Minister Modi expressed India's commitment to its relationship with Nepal. He has stated that it was a productive meeting and they are looking forward to India-Nepal friendship.
Indeed, Rhythm, and this is an extremely important bilateral meeting that we are seeing on the sidelines of the BIMSTEC Summit. KP Sharma Oli, of course, under tremendous pressure in the last 2 weeks, facing pro-monarchy protests in Nepal, where pro-monarchy or pro-royalist protesters are saying that Nepal should return back to its Hindu nation roots and go back to a Hindu monarchy format in which they were there. The Republicans or the people who are in favor of Nepal being a republic are continuously claiming that there has been a complete sense of unrest inside of Nepal. There have been voices from both sides, the government of Nepal and the protesters, who are looking towards India and asking for help to stabilize this entire situation. At such a time, the Prime Minister of Nepal meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi and holding this bilateral meeting will surely have a lot more deeper geopolitical implications inside Nepal as well, in terms of what the talks are between those two nations. We have seen Nepal being a very fragile democracy. In the last 16 years, they've had more than 14 governments change. So hence, KP Sharma Oli now once again back as Prime Minister, meeting Narendra Modi for this bilateral meeting, perhaps the first one that we have seen between India and Nepal in 2025.